seeing you in Washington and having the opportunity, obviously, to sit down properly.
I'm looking forward to it as well. There's no doubt that under your leadership, our two countries are going to continue our special relationship. We're working together just about every issue.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Brylan. A bombshell leak. British advisors to commie law hope to kill Musk's Twitter. Listen, they're telling you what they're going to do. They even wrote it down so that you wouldn't mistake anything. Now, Elon already responded to this and said, "This is war." Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how this crackdown on free speech that's happening in the UK is directly tied to the Sleepy Joe and Commie Law Administration. I'm going to show you how this one thing proves that free speech is absolutely at stake in this coming presidential election in the United States of America. Hey, real quick, would you hit that thumbs up button? You know when you like this video to get pushed out to more people, and it would really help spread the truth. Now, here's a part of that document that was leaked. Now, this was from a nonprofit organization that hosted a private meeting that included representatives from, you guessed it, the Sleepy Joe and Commie Law Administration. Their annual priorities are to kill Musk's Twitter, and look at this, progress toward change in USA and support for Star. This is absolute insanity. The left, they absolutely hate, freedom in general, but one of the absolute foundations of freedom is the freedom of speech, which they hate the most. So anything that they disagree with is considered to be a violation. It also goes on down here at the bottom to say that U.S. policy engagement set up meetings with Klobuchar's team, a U.S. representative. Now, it's not all that shocking because we know the left's agenda. Only now they're starting to write it down and say it out loud. All the while trying to convince you that it's a good thing that they have more control, more power, and it's a good thing that you're not able to say things that they disagree with. It's for your safety. In fact, we've seen over the last several months with Keir Starmer becoming the prime minister, this man hates free speech. He hates freedom in general. The UK's Orwellian crackdown on free speech could be headed our way. Now, this sounds like a shock kind of title, but it's absolutely 100% correct. This isn't a scare tactic. It's just the truth. And sometimes the truth is scary when you allow people that hate your freedoms to have control over you. And this too, Britain, like Canada, has descended very sharply and very quickly into totalitarianism, which it absolutely has. Not only that, but Keir Starmer, British Prime Minister, condemns anti-immigration protesters. He also championed the BLM protesters in 2020. So again, another open border elite, and he was championing the BLM riots that were destroying cities near you in 2020. And this isn't new to Starmer, who's the Prime Minister, remember this, of UK when I show you what I'm about to show you, connecting him to the Sleepy Joe and Commie Law administration. But this is a video from 11 years ago. Listen to Starmer's views on free speech on social media.
Where a communication is, as it were, merely offensive, grossly offensive, etc., then principles of free speech and free expression require there to be a high threshold and dictate that a prosecution is unlikely to be in the public interest in many of those cases.
And the factors which will suggest people might not be prosecuted include things like deleting it quickly if you've sobered up in the morning. Can you explain about that?
Wow.
One thing that's very important in this area is that where free speech protects the subject matter, a prosecution must be proportionate. And when considering whether a prosecution is proportionate, the question of whether a communication is removed quickly, whether the individual expresses remorse, whether access to the communication is blocked, these are obviously relevant to any assessment of proportionality.
Free speech is in the way of them just arresting anybody and everybody for saying things that they don't like, and that they'll take into an account if someone deletes what they said quickly enough, or they show enough remorse, they apologize for what they said, then there's less likely to be a prosecution in those cases. Basically saying you have free speech, but you must not say things we disagree with. And if you do, apologize, take it down, and we might not prosecute you. And it even went as far as the UK police commissioner threatening to extradite and jail U.S. citizens over online posts. He said, we'll come after you. You know, he was saying that it's not just in their country, but they'll go after people in other countries for saying things they don't like on social media, and you will be extradited and held accountable. We're thinking they can't do that. Well, actually, if the country that they're trying to extradite someone from is cooperative and agrees with them, then it's absolutely possible that this happens. Like, are we really shocked that this could be a possibility with how insane the left is and has become, and only promises to get more radical if they gain more power and continue to have power? Here's Starmer congratulating Sleepy Joe and commie law.
Can I welcome the victory of President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris? A new era of decency, integrity, and compassion in the White House.
A new era of decency and compassion. Where have we heard those words? They're all over the left in America. They claim to be the ones, the party of decency and of compassion and love and truth. Yet none of those things are a part of their ideology. In fact, listen to this call of Sleepy Joe congratulating Starmer for becoming the Prime Minister.
Mr. Prime Minister, congratulations. What a hell of a victory. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been a long night and day. I've been busy appointing my cabinet during the course of this afternoon. So thank you very much for your congratulations. And fortuitously, we will see each other next week. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in Washington and having the opportunity, obviously, to sit down properly.
I'm looking forward to it as well. There's no doubt that under your leadership, our two countries are going to continue our special relationship. We're working together just about every issue.
So you clearly hear Sleepy Joe talking about how our two countries will continue to work together and how they agree on just about every issue. Really? Well, it's actually true. They do agree on just about every issue, just like how the UK is cracking down on freedom of speech and literally jailing people for writing things on social media that they disagree with. Well, here is commie law talking a few years ago about her thoughts on freedom of speech on social media.
He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
That has to stop. Social media must have oversight, must have regulation. They must be policed to allow what is acceptable to say and what is not acceptable to the left. That is the key point there, is that the left are the ones that dictate and allow free speech. And she starts this clip by saying that Trump lost his privileges to free speech on social media. So free speech is just a privilege. It's not a right. It's not something given to you by God. It is something that you earn, that you are given by the elites. And if you violate it, it can be taken away. In fact, commie law and Starmer are so close in their ideologies and they believe in each other so much that, well, the UK Labour Party plans U.S. trip to boost Harris in battleground states. The FEC rules say foreigners cannot be compensated or involved in decision-making. The Labour Party is organizing a visit by 100 former and current staff to boost Vice President commie law in battleground states, an unusual effort by British liberals to bolster their political allies across the pond. However, check this out, the Labour staff anti-Trump USA trip was scrubbed. It ended up not happening officially. But it's a terrifying thing when a government that is literally jailing people for their posts on social media that they disagree with is trying to plan to come over to the United States of America to rally for commie law, who admits herself that freedom of speech is given to you by them. They're the ones that dictate it. I want you to see this real quick. This is in John chapter 16, verse 33. This is when Jesus is encouraging the disciples not to fall away by telling them that their sorrow will turn to joy and how he has overcome the world. But look at verse 33 down here. Just a quick little reminder that our God is in control. Check this out. Verse 33, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. But hey, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, join this community. I would love to hear from you on a regular basis. And please hit that thumbs up button. You know, when you like this video, to get pushed out to more people, and it would really help spread the truth. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.